Okay, so the last part that we have an update or revision on that's going to apply to these practice problems, -1, if you would, the first set of practice problems, is going to be our base plate. Okay, so you want to pull up the base plate, and this is going to be, if I go back underneath my camera, this is going to be really where everything gets mounted to. So if I look here and I look at our kind of 3-part assembly, the base plate is on the bottom here. Okay. The holes that we're going to be concerned about this time are going to be the side holes here. These would be mounting to something, you know, as its final assembly. So these aren't going to be interacting with the other two pieces, but they're mounting holes for 1/2-inch bolts or screws so that we could mount this to something. Okay. So right now, as we look at our drawing, okay, you're going to notice that those 4 holes are 1/2 inch. And if we look up here at the top, okay, it says specify the standard clearance hole size so that those 1/2 inch holes are going to actually fit a 1/2-13 UNC socket head cap screw. So we need a fastener to go through there that is a 1/2 inch. So our holes can't be a 1/2 inch nominal size. We need to make them a little larger. And as we know, standard clearance hole size is going to be 1/32 larger. So we want to update then not only the dimension, but the size of these 4 holes in the circular view as well as in the side views, so that it accurately reflects that change. So first things first, I'm going to delete this dimension because we're going to be updating it. So I'm just going to select it and hit the delete key. I am going to also select each one of the 4 holes. Now you could hit the erase and then select each one of these, but you can also singly select the items. And once you have them selected, you can hit your delete key. That's another way that you can kind of maneuver around and delete things. You'll notice that we still have our center lines here. So those are going to be intersections that we can still pick to put our new diameters on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my object line layer now. Okay. And I'm going to go to circle center diameter, and I'm going to click on that center. So make sure you're getting right in the middle there of where that was. So those center lines will still be the same centers. And this time I need to put in a 32nd larger than a 1/2 inch. So that's going to be 0.53125, right? Right? A 32nd is 0.03125. So 0.53125, right? Okay, adding a 32nd, enter. And then now I'm going to do that very same thing for the other 3 holes. So you can either do another diameter, 0.53125, or you could copy them if you wanted to for each one of those spots. Totally up to you. I don't know that one gets you faster than another, so I'm going to put mine in singly, but you certainly could do a copy on this as well. Oopsie. There we go. Okay, so all 4 of those are in place now in the circular views. Okay, now what you would want to do is you need to update the hidden line sections over here. And all that is we want to take now the new quadrant and pull that over. I'm going to go over to my hidden line, and I'm going to do these first. So I'm going to take just a line. I'm going to see quadrant. If I go over, I'm going to zoom. Yeah, see, as soon as I zoom in, I lose that line. So what I'm going to simply do is I'm going to delete these first. Delete and delete. And then I'm going to go over because then I think I'll have a better shot at it. Here we go. I'll get these in here. And then I'm going to do my line. Grab that quadrant and go over, and then click and click. There we go. And I'm going to put ortho on just to be sure. And do that same thing on the bottom quadrant. Over, click and click. Okay, so now that reflects the new diameter. And I want to do that very same thing up here. So I'm going to get rid of these, erase. And then I'm going to do that very same thing. Now this one's a little further away. A couple ways you could do it. You could actually copy these 2 and put them up there if you wanted to, but either way, always multiple ways of doing things. and then line, and then on the bottom here, over and over. Now, we have a third view. So there are 4 more places we need to do this. Okay, so these are in line over here, but now we've got 2 on the right and 2 on the left. So those need to be updated as well. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of the lines for these to start. Oopsie. Okay. And then now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do the copy here. So if you want to do the copy, you would grab the copy command and you would select the 2 lines, hit enter. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab at the intersection of the center line and the front. So I'm going to click here. Now I did not grab the center line. I only have the hidden lines because now I'm going to go to the center line here, the center line here. Okay. And then those are there. Then I'm going to do the very same thing for the back. So I'm going to copy and I'm going to click, and then I'm going to grab that intersection there and I'm going to go here and here. There we go. And now they are in place in the top view as well. Okay, so copy kind of came in handy for that top view. File and save. So now my geometry is all updated before I add my notes and my revision. So again, just translated the widths over to the side view, and then I copied up into the top view. Okay. Now, once we have that done, we need to add the dimension back in over here. Now, this is a 32nd of an inch. Okay, so 0.03, I'm making it larger. Notice that we can just put in the 2 place decimal and we will be totally fine, plus or minus 20 thousandths on that, and we'll still be larger than 0.5, even if we're on our smallest size. Okay, so we don't have to worry about the sizes interfering because we have a much larger clearance hole than what our minimum size will be. So I'm going to go over to my dimension layer. And I am going to click on my 2 place decimal. If you don't have it, put your 2 place decimal as active. And then we're going to go to the diameter. Okay. The diameter. So I'm going to click on diameter. I'm going to click on that hole. I'm just going to pull this up and to the left. Now, there are 4 holes. Okay. 4 holes. So I need to double click on this. And out front, I'm going to do a 4 by, make sure the X is capital, space. And then you can just click outside of it anywhere to deactivate it. And that's it. Okay, for the dimension. Okay. So what I'm talking about, why we don't have to worry about the decimal here is if this defaults 2 place to our title block, that's plus or minus 20 thousandths, right? So that means that this number is going to go up to 0.55 and it's going to go down to 0.51. Remember, if we do a 1/2 inch socket head cap screw to go through there, the largest it will be is a 1/2 inch. So I still have 0.1 or 0.01 of an inch that's gonna be in there, you know, as extra. So we don't have to worry about the size not working for us. All right, so now that I have my whole dimensioned, this is where I'm gonna attach my revision level, okay? So just like last time, I'm gonna kind of zoom in here. I'm going to create a multi-line text, left click, change my size to 0.125, and I'm going to start with A. Make sure it's capital, and then left click. Okay. Oops, that's smaller. Is this a 2 times? Oh, it's a 1.5. Look at my scale. Because if you look here, notice my size is not the same, is it? It's not the same. So if I go down here, this is 1.5. So if I take, 1/8 of an inch and multiply it by 1.5. What would that be? So if I take 0.125 and multiply it by 1.5, what do I get? Oh, 0.18. Yep, 0.1875. Thank you, Joe. So I get 3/16 of an inch. So I'm going to go to my annotate tab, and we're just going to go down. And we're going to see we don't have that there. So I'm gonna delete that text. We're gonna go to, I'm gonna go back to home, multi-line text here and here. And we're gonna go down here. And it doesn't look like we have it, right? But notice up here, if I click and I drag over the top of 0.2, I can key in 0.1875 right here. Enter. Okay. And so enter, did it go? Yes, okay, it's selected. So now what I can do is I can put my A in and then left click outside of it, and now it'll be the same size. You guys see that? So I'll do that one more time in case you didn't get it. So we're gonna do down arrow text, multi-line text, make my box, left click, it goes into text editor mode. And then right here, okay, and you probably won't have 0.1875, but you're just going to select over the top of the 0.2 and you're going to manually put in 0.1875, okay? And then hit enter, all right? And that'll then be the new size of our text. And then you're going to put the letter A. And then just left click outside of that. And now you'll notice that this is the right size. It's the same size as the other text, okay? So then now we're going to move it. We're going to move our A down. I got to get my ortho off, down to about here-ish. And then we're going to put a circle, center radius, going about the center of that A, something like that. And then we want it by that dimension, so that marks where our revision happened. Okay. Do a quick save. And then now we need to finish our revision box. So we're going to get rid of the information that was there. That was just a note to let you know what to do. So make sure you delete those. And then now we're going to go back up here. And we are going to be on our dimension layer. And we're going to make our vertical lines going down, making sure our ortho is on. Okay. And then I'm going to do my multi-line text. And I'm going to put my A in first, making sure that now that you should have that 0.1875, you can arrow down under annotative and pick the 0.1875, and that's going to be your A. Then multi-line text for our description. And this is just going to be, oops, again, don't forget your 0.1875 was 0.50 diameter. And that's the only thing that we change on this drawing, okay? And then the last one that we need to add in is going to be our date. Okay, change that to 0.1875. And then this is going to be 9/29/2025. There we go. Okay, then the last thing we do is we're going to add our line to the bottom here. Yeah, I think I can work with that. Perpendicular. And then I'm just going to move these guys up a little bit and into more the center. So turn my ortho back off right about there. Move this up a little bit and move this up so it's not overlapping. And then I'll trim the little ends off. There we go. Okay. So that is then everything we need to do for that revision. So we updated the size of the holes in their circular view. We updated the front view and the top view where we saw those edges as lines. We updated our dimension so that it's a 32nd larger to accommodate a standard side fastener. And then we put our revision on and then identified how we changed our dimension. Okay. Any questions on our base plate? Okay. So now you're going to be handing in the files for these practice problems. Okay. So if we go back over to Canvas and we go to practice or module 7 practice problems -1. Okay. -1. These are the files we were just working with. And what you need to do is with those revisions that we did during our session here today, you're going to be uploading all 3 CAD files, okay? Because I want to be sure that you did update the geometry, that you're using dimensions to identify those sizes as we change them, and that everything is all good, okay? So so all 3 files, all right? This is worth 30 points, okay? And these are practice problems. So because we did it, together during our lecture here, then you kind of have everything that you need in order to, kind of get all the points, if you would. Okay. So, so any questions about what to submit here? So it's going to be the AutoCAD files, not PDFs, of all 3 of those reflecting the revisions that we went over together here during our session today. Okay. If there aren't any questions, then I'll stop the recording here.